There are royal moments that arrive with trumpets, speeches, and cameras. And then there are moments built almost entirely from silence, a glance that appears colder than expected, a hand that never moves forward, a greeting that viewers believe should have happened but apparently did not. Across royal content channels, one explosive story has begun spreading. Catherine, the Princess of Wales, allegedly walked into a formal event at Windsor, looked directly at Queen Camilla, and deliberately refused to greet her. No handshake, no curtsy, no polite exchange, just one controlled nod and a room supposedly frozen by what it had witnessed. According to the story, Camilla immediately understood the message. William moved closer to his wife in silent support. Charles watched helplessly as a private family conflict escaped into public view. It sounds like the coldest royal confrontation in years. But before anyone decides what Catherine's silence meant, there is a far more disturbing question. Did this confrontation happen at all? Before we go deeper, please subscribe to the channel. We examine the moments shaking the royal family while separating genuine developments from scenes created to look like confirmed news. The viral version gives the audience a vivid royal setting. Windsor is filled with senior family members, carefully positioned guests and palace aides, trained to keep every movement smooth. Queen Camilla stands inside an arranged receiving line, waiting for the traditional recognition attached to her position. Catherine approaches. Everyone knows the expected routine, yet she supposedly passes Camilla with only the smallest acknowledgement. The story tells us that Camilla's hand had already begun moving forward. It tells us that her expression tightened. It tells us that William saw everything. Charles lowered his program, and dozens of guests immediately began whispering. These details are emotionally powerful. They are also impossible to verify from the material provided. No specific date is given. No official Windsor event is clearly identified. No authenticated video is presented. No named guest or palace official has publicly confirmed what supposedly happened. The audience is not shown evidence of the moment. It is shown a fully written interpretation of it. And that distinction changes everything. Because even when a greeting appears awkward on camera, royal protocol is not as simple as many viral videos suggest. The royal family's official guidance says there are no obligatory codes of behavior when greeting the king, queen, or other members of the family. Some people bow or curtsy. Others simply shake hands. Courtesy is expected, but one specific physical gesture is not compulsory. That means the absence of a handshake cannot, by itself, prove hostility. A greeting may be missed because of timing. Someone may already have greeted another person privately. The order of a formal event may not require every royal to greet every other royal on camera. A person might be moving toward an assigned position while viewers interpret the movement as a deliberate snub. And sometimes a short clip begins after the real greeting has already taken place. But online, uncertainty does not generate the same attention as conflict. So an unclear moment becomes a refusal. A refusal becomes humiliation. Humiliation becomes a secret war. And within minutes, millions of viewers are being told exactly what four people were thinking inside a room no reporter has described. The rumor becomes believable because the people at its center carry enormous symbolic weight. Catherine is not merely a popular member of the family. She is the wife of Prince William, the heir to the throne, and has spent years carrying out public duties while raising their 3 children. Official royal information identifies the couple as the Prince and Princess of Wales and describes William as supporting the king through public and official duties. Camilla is not simply Charles's wife. She is officially Her Majesty the Queen and carries out engagements in support of the monarchy. Her position represents one of the most complicated public transformations in modern royal history. That makes any imagined conflict between the two women irresistible. One represents the current reign. The other stands beside the future king. One spent decades fighting for public acceptance. The other developed a reputation for restraint, continuity, and carefully controlled public conduct. Put those two figures inside Windsor Castle, remove one expected greeting, and the audience immediately sees something larger than manners. It sees succession. It sees rivalry. It sees the present queen facing the woman expected to occupy a similar role in the next reign. but symbolism is not evidence. The viral story then travels backward, claiming Catherine's alleged refusal began weeks earlier during a rehearsal dinner connected to St. George's Chapel. There, Camilla supposedly told Catherine, "Grace must be earned before it is inherited." It is the perfect line for the story. Cold enough to wound Catherine, polished enough to sound royal, ambiguous enough for Camilla to deny any hostile intention, and powerful enough to explain everything that allegedly happened later. But no reliable source has established that Camilla said it. There is no named participant, no recording, no official account, no credible journalist quoting an identifiable witness. The sentence functions like dialogue in a screenplay. It creates a villain, gives the heroine an emotional wound, and prepares the audience for the confrontation that follows. Without it, Catherine's alleged refusal has no clear motive. With it, every silent movement suddenly looks justified. This is how unsupported royal stories are often constructed. They begin with an unclear or completely unverified public scene. Then, they add a private insult. Next comes a conversation between husband and wife. After that, a secret confrontation takes place behind closed doors. Finally, fictional headlines and public crowds are introduced to make the incident feel historically important. Every added layer appears to confirm the one before it. Yet all of them may come from the same anonymous narrative. The alleged private confrontation is even more dramatic. Camilla supposedly closes the door of a side room and demands to know why Catherine embarrassed her. Catherine then delivers the line designed to define the entire conflict: "Respect cannot be demanded in public after being denied in private." William enters, but does not speak over his wife. Charles hears what happened and realizes Catherine now holds the moral ground. It is perfectly structured. Camilla represents rank. Catherine represents dignity. William represents protection. Charles represents authority weakened by hesitation. The characters are positioned so cleanly that the audience is never left uncertain about whom to support. Real family disputes are rarely that convenient. People misunderstand one another. Motives overlap. Witnesses remember events differently. Conversations do not always end with one flawless sentence that summarizes the entire moral conflict. When a supposedly private royal scene sounds too perfectly written, viewers should ask how the narrator could know every word, expression, and pause. Who was in the room? Who recorded the conversation? Why has no identifiable witness described it publicly? And why does the account provide emotional detail, but no verifiable date? Those questions are not attempts to protect Camilla or criticize Catherine. They are the questions that separate documentary storytelling from fiction presented as news. There is another verified detail the rumor leaves out. Catherine and Camilla have continued appearing within coordinated royal programs. During the September 2025 United States state visit at Windsor, the King, Queen, Prince and Princess of Wales participated in the official welcome. Queen Camilla later accompanied the First Lady during Windsor engagements, while Catherine hosted a separate activity with her at Frogmore Gardens. Reuters also reported on Camilla and Catherine's participation during the visit. In June 2025, the King, Queen, Prince and Princess of Wales were all publicly represented at Garter Day at Windsor Castle, one of the monarchy's most formal annual ceremonies. None of this proves that every private interaction is warm. Public cooperation cannot reveal everything happening inside a family. But it does show why claims of an open Windsor rebellion require stronger evidence than dramatic narration. The monarchy depends heavily on coordinated public duty. Catherine and Camilla occupy different ranks, responsibilities, and stages of royal life, but both currently operate in support of the king. A genuine public refusal significant enough to shock an entire formal gathering would likely produce identifiable footage, reporting from accredited royal correspondence, or an official event record allowing viewers to examine the context. Instead, exact searches for this allegation primarily surface videos repeating the same story. One video refers to another. One narrator's interpretation becomes another channel's palace source. Eventually, repetition creates an illusion of confirmation. But 20 videos repeating one unsupported allegation do not create 20 independent sources. They create one story traveling through 20 different voices. The most fascinating part of this rumor may therefore have nothing to do with Catherine refusing Camilla, It may reveal how audiences now interpret the royal family. Every movement is treated as coded communication. A delayed smile becomes resentment. A change of position becomes a power struggle. A missing photograph becomes exile. And a handshake that viewers do not see becomes proof of a private war. The royal family's controlled public style encourages this kind of interpretation. Senior royals rarely explain every expression or respond to every online theory. That silence protects private life and prevents the palace from giving endless rumors additional publicity. But silence also creates an empty space. And empty spaces are easy to fill with fictional certainty. Perhaps Catherine and Camilla have disagreed privately. Perhaps their relationship is formal rather than emotionally close. Perhaps pressures involving hierarchy, succession, and public expectations have created uncomfortable moments. All of those possibilities can exist inside any complicated family. But they remain possibilities unless evidence brings them into the public record. The verified facts are more restrained. Camilla is the queen. Catherine is the Princess of Wales. William is the heir and carries out duties in support of his father. Both couples remain part of the working monarchy's public structure. There is no confirmed public record establishing that Catherine refused to greet Camilla at the alleged Windsor gathering. There is no verified evidence of the rehearsal dinner insult. There is no authenticated account of the side-room confrontation. And there is no reliable confirmation that Charles privately judged Catherine to hold the moral ground. The shocking truth is not that a future queen publicly humiliated the current queen. The shocking truth is how easily viewers can be made to remember a royal incident for which they were never shown credible evidence. A receiving line may never have frozen. Camilla's hand may never have been rejected. William may never have moved forward in silent defense. Charles may never have lowered a program in alarm. Yet after hearing the story told with enough emotional precision, the scene begins to feel like something the audience personally witnessed. That is the real power of royal storytelling. It can turn silence into dialogue. It can turn uncertainty into motive. And it can turn an allegation into a memory. So the question is no longer only why Catherine supposedly refused to greet Camilla. The deeper question is this: why were so many people ready to believe she did? Was it because of evidence, or because the story confirmed what they already believed about Camilla? Catherine and the future of the crown? Share your opinion in the comments, and subscribe for royal documentaries that remain dramatic, revealing, and engaging without presenting unsupported scenes as confirmed news.